To a Butterfly by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was an English romantic poet who, along with St. Coleridge, helped the launch of Romantic Age in English literature. He had firm faith that nature could enlighten the universal brotherhood of human beings, and he believed that by only existing in harmony with nature, man could get or attain true happiness. He is considered as one of the greatest nature poets. He has written 387 poems. William Wordsworth loved nature and wrote about the beauty of nature in so many of his poems. He was also very fond of his sister, called Dorothy, who is referred to in many of his poems. Some of the trees in the orchard mentioned in the poem in their home in England were planted by the poet, and many of the flowers by his sister. In this poem, To a Butterfly, he talks about a butterfly that he has been observing for quite some time. In this poem, the poet describes a butterfly which is basking in the sun. Wordsworth addresses the insect directly. He says that he'd watched the butterfly for half an hour, and during this course of the time, the butterfly had made no movement while it had settled on a yellow flower. As the poet watched it from a distance, this butterfly appeared to be quite composed and relaxed. The poet thought that the butterfly was very confident. It was so motionless, and hence the poet could not figure out if the insect was feeding itself or was asleep. The poet compares the lack of movement of the butterfly to the frozen seas. He says that the butterfly was even more motionless than the icy seas. And eventually, the butterfly responds to the call of the breeze. The breeze seems to keep track of the butterfly, which is now fluttering among some trees. The breeze invites this colorful butterfly to join it as it moves with force. The butterfly seems to be delighted, for now it's in the mood to move around and explore the surroundings. The poet says that the orchard that the butterfly has come visiting belongs to his sister and himself. The trees growing in the orchard are his, while the flowers belong to his sister. The butterfly rests its wings in the orchard whenever it grows tired of flying. This orchard is like a shelter to the butterfly. The poet makes an appeal to the butterfly. He invites the butterfly to visit their orchard often and not to feel scared. He says that no wrong will be done to it and no harm will come. The butterfly can perch itself on a small branch of a tree. The poet and his sister would also be sitting nearby, and the three of them would get engaged in some conversation. They would talk about the glorious beauty of nature, about the wonders of the sunlight, and the joys of the different sounds and songs of nature. Together, they'd remember the bygone days. They would reflect on the summers of the past. At that time of the summer, the poet and his sister were also young. Their lives were simple. It was innocent and childish. And he says that those days were so fun-filled and joyful that the poet and his sister weren't even aware of the time passing. During those days, a single day seemed to be as long as the length of 20 days of now. In other words, the children were so happy in the past that they weren't even conscious of the time passing by.